What's up, you guys? All right, so today is the 5th green day in a row, which is great, but today was a little frustrating, and I just sat down to start recording this intro to the recap, and I heard my scanner go boing, and I was like, all right, I gotta go mute it, and I looked over and I saw it was BKYI hitting highs over 230, and I was like, God dang it, because I had my last trade was stopping out of that for a $300 loss when it dropped down to 277 or $1.77. And my immediate urge was turn the monitor back on, open up my broker platform, and I'm jumping in this to ride this to $253 because what did IMAC do earlier in the week? It was a similar price stock and it finally popped up and broke out. And I said, you know what? No, man. You've already looked at your P&L. You're up $500. It's a green day. Don't let this one throw you off your game. It's not a big deal. Hey, if it goes to $3, that's awesome. And congratulations if, you end up taking those trades and making the money. But I didn't have a great morning today. I had like 4 small winners and I'm only up 500. Now that I've seen how much I'm up, I would say I really don't have the cushion to take any more trades. One wrong move and it's going to put me red on the day. I would much rather go into the weekend feeling like I exercised restraint, maintained discipline, and followed my rules for the whole week. So 5 green days in a row thanks to focusing on generally good quality setups. Obviously, some of the days have been bigger green than others, but hey, green is good. So I'll be back at it as always Monday morning, and hopefully we see some good momentum and continuation of the strength that we've really had in the last few days. All right, so that's it for me. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Questions, comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you first thing on Monday morning. All right, everyone. So we're going to do midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. Nice to see this breakout here on TCRD. Today I was a little conservative on my trades. I really didn't see a lot that looked picture perfect. There were a couple different trades that I took, but just, I don't know. We've had an amazing week. Coming into today, I was up about 17,000 on the week. I would have certainly loved to have had a big green day today, but the gap scanner this morning, pre-market, BKYI was our leading gapper. And although I took a couple trades on it, I found that it was really difficult to trade. So at the open, it dipped down to $1.90 and squeezed up to 213 and got halted. On resumption, coming out of the halt, I did take a trade right here for the break over 25. It hit 29 and came back down. It was a break-even trade. I didn't make any money on that. I lost money on it. Not a lot, but a small loss. It didn't trade it for a while. It went sideways, wasn't really interested. And then right here, as it came back up and broke through VWAP, I actually took a trade right here at 208 for the break of 210, thinking that now that it was above VWAP, it looked good. It hit a high of 215. And then all of a sudden right here, dropped and got halted going down. Now, I was holding 2,000 shares into the halt going down. And I was like, all right, well, this isn't great. But I knew I was probably green on the day thanks to ASTC, so I figured, well, I'll just cut my loss on resumption. It resumes and hits a low of 77. And I thought to myself, well, should I go ahead and add down here, which, as you can see, it bounced back up. The problem is when you add to a losing position, if you wouldn't have taken that trade down here to begin with, then you're just trading to manage your P&L. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to cut the loss. I'm going to let it go. And I think that was the right move. So let's see where I finished today. ASTC works, BMRA, TCRD, and BKYI, $505. Not surprising that it's not a big green day. I went red on my first trade on ASTC and then got it back and came back to green. A small trade on let's see, let me stretch this out here. A small trade on Works, BMRA, TCRD, and then a $346 loss on BKYI. So all things considered, that's not that bad. Hey, $500 is a great day. It's not $3 or $4 grand like I've been making other days this week, but 500 is a terrific day. 500 a day is $100,000 a year. So for this to be my worst day of the week, that means it's been a pretty good week. The total shares, that's my buys across multiple trades. So BKYI, I took a couple trades on, but that last trade was with only 2,000 shares. ASTC had a couple trades on. Works, I don't know, I think it was just one trade. BMRA, TCRD. So let's kind of go back to the gap scan today. So this morning when I came in, I felt today a little bit, I think I kind of felt this morning I was running a little bit late, a little later than usual. I didn't sleep super well last night, so I was kind of like, you know what? Let's just take it easy. Just don't do anything crazy. BKYI, leading gapper. I missed that trade right out at the open, but ASTC was the second leading gapper, and I did pretty well on this stock earlier this week. So right out of the gates, my very first trade on it was a long on the break of 580. And it popped up to 585 and then dropped down here to 45, and I lost a full 30 cents on that trade. And I believe I had 2,000 shares on that first trade. So that would have put me down 600 on the day on my first trade, which is obviously not ideal. I then got back in right here for the break, looking for the break back over the highs. It came up and double topped at 85, pulled back, and then broke through and hit a high of 6. I sold at 598 because there was a big seller at $6. So that trade, I guess, made up for the first loss, although I'm not sure if it did 100%, but it was not bad. And I'm trying to remember if I had another trade on it. Maybe I didn't. So yeah, maybe those were just the first two trades I took. Really thought I had one more trade on it. Well, in any case, I did make my way back to green on it. And so that's good. 2 trades, 1 loser, 1 winner. Not the easiest one, but did the best I could. I was really looking for the break over $6 because of this pre-market chart. And I was thinking if it breaks 6 and starts to open up, this thing might look really good. So first trade out of the gates, red, then went green. Works, WORX, that was on the gap scanner as well. As you can see right here, gapping up 27%. I took 1 trade on it, which was actually kind of a little, just like a little pullback trade right up here, long at, what was this, 45-ish? It popped up to a high of 55, it pulled back, it broke 55 and hit 60, and I was taking profit at 58, 57. So $288. And at that point in the day, I was kind of like, all right, it's only 5 minutes in, but ASTC didn't work very well. Works wasn't very good. And then BMRA, this is the only one today that I'm a little disappointed with myself on. I jumped in it a little aggressively because I looked at the daily chart and I saw, first daily candle to make a new high is right here at 24. So as it popped up, I jumped right in at 20. It hit a high of 30 and then pulled back right here to 7, and I was still holding because I was looking at the daily chart. And then I realized I was in this too high. It consolidated sideways. It broke to the upside up here to 45, and I was able to get out with profit. But it wasn't my cleanest trade of the day, and so I was a little disappointed with that one. TCRD, this for me was just a quick trade on the break of $3, which was right here. It hit a high of 310. It pulled back. I did say it was worth watching back over 10, and it squeezed from 10 all the way up to a high of 375. So that was actually one of the cleanest ones today. but I only took one trade on it and made $23. And then BKYI we already talked about. So BKYI, this was my last trade, and at this point I said, all right, I'm done. This is kind of, I'm just not feeling it today. And this is important for me to be able to say, I'm going to walk away and not overtrade, because last week, what I probably would have done in this same exact spot would have said, okay, well, all right, let's keep watching. Oh, TCRD is popping up. So let's zoom in on this, and let's look at the 1 minute chart. I might have bought it here, and I might have taken 5,000 shares or 8,000 shares. It pops up 10, 15 cents, but probably wouldn't have been able to sell the whole thing on the ask. It doesn't have a lot of volume. Then I would have been holding through consolidation, looking for the break over the high right here, and then it flushes down here, and all of a sudden I'm down, $1,200 on that trade. Then I'm in the red, and I'm like, okay, let me just try to finish the day green. And then I start to look for the next thing, and it just can spiral. So right now, for me to just say, hey, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel here. $500 is a decent day. It's not a home run. I'm sure some of you guys have actually made more than me today. Maybe you took bigger share size. INO was a really great trade that was off the watch list this morning that I ended up missing completely from 770 right here. This nice breakout up to a high of 829. So, I missed that one. I didn't trade APT. I told myself it was a little too risky. AHPI said the same thing. PSV is a cheaper stock that's made a bit of a move. Today, I guess I'm being a little bit more conservative, not trading quite as aggressively, and as a result, I'm going to walk away maybe with not as much profit as I could have if I'd been willing to be a little more aggressive. But on the other hand, it's not always about how much you could make. It's how well would you have handled going red today. Today's my 5th consecutive green day. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for making $17,000 this week, working from home. This has been a fantastic week, and going into the weekend with a small green day feels a heck of a lot better for me right now than going into the weekend feeling like I overtraded, I got too aggressive, I gave back my profit, and I, gave into FOMO. For those of you guys that did all of those things, I can relate, because that's what I did last week. And, it can be very frustrating. And so the best thing you can do is over the weekend, take the 2-day off and press that reset button. Whether you come back on Monday and you hide your P&L the way I have been hiding it, or you find something else that you can do to help get you centered, do it, whatever is going to work in order for you to focus on trading the best quality setups and managing your risk. I think today, if I had seen the dollar amount of how red I went on my first trade, I would have immediately felt a little deflated. I would have been like, dang it, down $700 or whatever it was. All right, well, now I've got a hole to dig. And then on the next trade, I might have been a little more aggressive. And then if I lost, then I'm down $1,500. Oh man, okay, now this day is getting bad. And so instead, I had a loss, and then I sat tight, took the next trade without any of that kind of emotional baggage, and ended up having a nice winner on the next trade. So the best thing I can do right now is shut this down, and turn off this monitor up here so I don't see the scanners. Keep streaming them for you guys, but now it's turned off. So I've got an empty desktop here, and I can get some other work done, and hopefully just enjoy the rest of the day. All right, so that's it for me. We'll be back at it first thing on Monday morning, of course, 9:15 as usual. I'll start live streaming the pre-market watch list. No FOMO today. Everything's turned off, so that's it. However, we will have FOMO Friday at 3 p.m. for Warrior Pro students. I won't be looking at charts during FOMO Friday, but Ted and Diane, our trading psychology team, and me, the three of us will be there 3 p.m. for Warrior Pro students. So those of you guys that gave into FOMO this week and you want a little pep talk, you want to log in and talk a little bit about where things went wrong, join us 3 p.m. in the Warrior Pro mentor session. All right, so I'm going to take a little break and I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. All right, bye everyone. Hey, did you know that I go live every single morning between 9 and 9:15 to stream my pre-market watch list? Subscribe to the channel, press the bell for the alert, and you'll get the notification.